You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly.
Okay, welcome to the Village of Wappingers Falls monthly regular meeting. The Mayor and the Board of Trustees. Today's Wednesday, January 10th. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Mayor Huber.
Present.
Trustee Nicholas.
Here.
Trustee Telesack.
Here.
Trustee Nesnick.
Here.
Trustee Williams.
Here.
Trustee Ruffin.
Here.
Trustee Smith. Absent. Village Attorney Lindars.
Here.
Action on minutes. Regular Village Board meeting, December 13th, 2023.
Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carried.
Authorization to pay bills as per approved warrant.
Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 0224 of 2024, accepting resignation of employees. Whereas employee Brenda Alfonso resigned from her employment with the Village of Wappingers Falls effective January 26, 2024, and employee Jamie Ruiz resigned from her employment with the Village of Wappingers Falls effective January 7, 2024. Can I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Who was that? Mike?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 323. It should be 0324 of 2024. We have a motion to table this resolution.
Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Who seconded that?
Carried.
Resolution 0424, 2024, hiring a full-time police dispatcher. The village, Wappingers Falls hereby desires to hire a part-time police dispatcher,
Is there a motion?
Zachary Canning. Can I have a motion?
Is there a motion?
Was that,
Nobody?
Nobody?
no, you read it as part-time, and I thought that was to be full-time.
Oh. Okay, there's disparity. There's disparity here. The resolution says full-time at top.
Part-time in the
Time in the
middle,
middle.
and full-time down here.
Well, let's hold off on that. I'm going to send a text out in a few minutes.
Clarification on that one.
Okay. Resolution 524 of 2024. Employing legal services to the Village of Wappingers Falls Planning Board and Zoning Board of Appeals. It would be in the best interest of the Village of Wappingers Falls to appoint the law offices of Lisa M. Cobb as the active attorney for the village effective January 1st, 2024.
She is the current planning and zoning board attorney. In talking with Alan and Tom, they wish to still have service with her. So they're asking permission from this board. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mike?
Carried.
I am in receipt of an engagement letter, not personally, an engagement letter for Lisa Cobb. And I would be asking the board for their approval to have the mayor sign off on it, since you've already voted to accept her. Can I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Tillishak?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Village Attorney, are we going to do a resolution for the purchase of the vehicle for the police department and highway department?
We're tabling that until the workshop meeting, the end of the month.
Okay.
That'd be the 31st.
Can I have a motion to table that to the both of those to the 31st?
I'll make that motion.
Second? Jen?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm opposed to tabling that. I'll go down on the record as opposed.
Mike opposed.
It's not really for a discussion. It was, we need the resolution. We need further financial information to finish the resolution. So it's not a discussion.
Motion for the village clerk to place an ad in Indeed and/or Southern Dutchess News for a civil service position, number 133, secretary to the planning board and zoning to replace Brenda Alfonso.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a
I'll second it.
Joe? All right, John?
Joe?
No, John. So check.
That was me, but.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I would just like to point out on that one subject that I believe the village attorney, not Ian, but the other attorney, Brooke, needs to give me the write-up that she wants put in the paper.
Not just an ordinary one, starting salary?
Right, Jen?
Any advertisement that goes out should be crossed through Brooke.
Yes.
Okay. Discussion to place cameras in Franny Reese Park. That's at the park at the top of the hill on West Main Street. Top of the hill on the right-hand side. As you get to the very top, there's a little red brick building there in the park.
I had a request from somebody up in Ward 1 that one of the vehicles was broken into and the tools were stolen out of it. That was in Franny's Park. And they stated that since the other parks have cameras, they would like a camera put up there to try to deter theft of vehicles, people getting in and out of them.
Gotta really speak up close because the people can't hear. They can't hear.
Did that pick up at all? No?
Now it does.
So I had a request from somebody in Ward 1 that a car was parked, or truck was parked in Henry Reese Park parking lot, and they had a lot of things valuable stolen out of it. So they're requesting a camera be put into the park like other parks have as a deterrent for that. I live up behind there, and I know people are always trying to get into our cars, so I'm kind of in favor of that we try to get a camera into there.
Should probably step patrol up too.
I may.
Yep, yeah, Joe.
I think it's a good idea, but you'd also need to get internet because the cameras have to have something to reach on, so it's a whole process. And I
Be the same
believe
thing as Vets Park then, correct?
we have cameras in Vetch Parks. We don't believe we have them in Mizzier at the moment. So we need to get the estimates on that and see where we go. I believe, Ian, if I'm not mistaken, we would need 3 estimates.
We have a current security system that's monitoring these things. I think the first place we should do is discuss with them what that looks like, what our needs are, and understand the scope of what that's gonna be before we start making any decisions on it. So I think that might be your first step.
Let's reach out to that.
Cameras on Mill Street parking lot?
Nope.
We gotta have some order here where if you're gonna speak and you're gonna address the board, you have to walk up front, state your name, when the mayor will recognize you. And then
Yeah.
we'll wait for the public comment, period.
We wait for public comment on this?
Yeah, you guys know what I'm doing here, man.
Okay, so when you're ready, I can help you with that.
Okay?
I can get Doyle Security to give us an estimate. So if you want me to work with you on that, I will.
I would like that.
Discussion, 2-hour parking on West Main for residents and businesses. Ms. Parks would like to address the board. Trustee Nicholas.
I don't think Ms. Parks is here tonight.
Ms. Parks is not here tonight.
Yes, I have her testament, day and night lounge.
Day and night lounge.
So she wrote that to me so that I could speak for her because she's not feeling very well.
Is that part of your,
Yeah.
okay.
As a village resident and commercial business owner on Main Street, I have been duly subjected to the inconveniences the snow ordinance creates. Limited street parking created a full municipal parking lot that is insufficiently plowed when it snows. Main Street is also insufficiently plowed, which truly impacts the businesses. For my lounge in particular, certainly having to move your car at 12 a.m. would deter customers from staying longer. It would also encourage them to be driving while drunk. I would like to see the village amend the ordinance to the snow events, only like our neighboring towns.
Yeah, actually wasn't what the issue, we were talking about the 2-hour parking. That, I think, was next on the list.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
that's good.
Let's renege that.
That's fine.
And we'll bring it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
good.
We can start with that, I don't care.
We can start with that. So, I met with Supervisor Cavassini this afternoon to see how the town has done it. And I talked to the board, and we are gonna look into doing something like that. By our next meeting, I will have an executive order signed for the ban of parking on the street, where you can park on the street until the National Weather Service has issued any kind of warning, a blizzard warning, a snow warning, an ice warning, any kind of winter warning or advisory. You will have to be off the street up to 48 hours. How I'd like to push this through is through our social media page, our website, and the village police department has a thing called Nixtel that I would advise everybody to get on. I know there's quite a few people in the village that are on it, and whoever's not on it, we can get them on it, and they can be alerted by a text or an email to saying, you can't park on our streets, there's a snow event coming, ice event, or whatsoever.
Do you think it would be beneficial to put up, like temporary snow sign, like where the spots are? Because for people that aren't in the village or from the village that are coming through to
Well,
maybe.
we have the Franny Reese parking lot, We have the Mill Street parking lot. We have Reservoir parking lot. We have,
Well, I meant like
there's
on
a-
the,
There's a Spring Street parking lot.
well, not in the lots though, on the streets. So like the snow ordinance is for Main Street, and it's also for the streets, like the residential streets behind.
Yes,
off
that's
of
where,
Main
that's
Street.
where we're looking to lift.
Right, so if you're, maybe I'm not understanding fully what you're saying. So you're saying that when you're doing plowing, you'll post on that,
When we're doing plowing, you will not be able to park on the street. If the National Weather Service is issuing a winter storm event, any kind of a warning or an advisory, you are not allowed to park on Village Road,
got it.
State Highway, Route 9D, at all. You'd have to be off the street, you'd have to find alternative parking.
If not, it's to tell them.
Yeah.
As far as plowing on East and West Main, that's done by the state.
Yes.
It's not the village. The
Yeah,
parking lots are, though,
right.
village.
I know the village does plow East and West Main Street just to keep it open, but they don't salt it because it's not our road. So I know they do it just to keep it open. It might be far in between, but again, I mean, I live on West Main Street also, so I know, I've seen the highway guys plow it at times.
So what you mean for the next time that we have a meeting?
The next meeting will be January 31st, Wednesday.
Okay, will that be resolved by then, or are you saying that?
I will have an executive order signed by myself, by this board, upon this board's approval, to sign this executive order.
Do you have to vote on that?
We're gonna have to vote on the new law we're gonna be making.
Okay.
So while we're making this law, because it probably will take some time, because some board members have come to me and would like to look at town of Poughkeepsie, the city of Beacon, Cold Spring, also the town of Wappinger. I gave it in their packet tonight. I also have it. So that's what we'll be looking into, to see what's out there, you know. I mean, the town looks like it's got a great plan, but who knows, somebody else might have one better. Or maybe we can use theirs and add it, you know, so.
Okay, so will it be on the agenda for next?
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
You're complaining that when the state comes down, they plow your customers in?
No, nope, I'm complaining that we're frightening away potential very nice tenants that want to live there and don't have.
All right, we're moving along.
to park their cars.
All right,
I would definitely probably be someone that would want to talk about the snow, considering I think I caused some stir today.
Sure, come on up.
So, Dan Tompkins, Monroe County Fair.
Okay.
Is that what we'll say? I think the lifting of snow ordinance is absurd. I don't understand why anyone would ever want to lift that. You have to have that. We need that area plowed. I mean, for me, I don't know what you guys do, what you guys talked about. I mean, 1 o'clock is fine. Like, if we could push it a little bit. And signs everywhere. I don't think that would look great. I don't know how you'd want to do it.
So I'm not looking to put any more signs up
Yeah.
that we have. Just to back up a second, because I know you're a business owner and I know it probably will affect you a little bit, but
It was a rough day yesterday. I have some, yeah.
it'll probably affect you a little bit, but I mean, I feel 15 years ago, this village was a smaller village, and now it just has grown in the same 1 square mile that we are. And there's a lot of new buildings, a lot of people are moving in, there's some investors building, and there's been some vacant buildings throughout the village that are getting redone, and more families are moving in, and that means more cars. And again, we're just 1 square mile in this village, and we have no place to park. But we got to enforce laws in this village also, where, you know, we can't just give you everything. And
Yeah, no, so regardless of whatever I posted and whatever caused a lot of drama, I just posted that the space, so they plow the roads, the state, or
State does,
the
yep.
state, not county, not.
No, the
The
state.
state plows the roads.
Yep.
The parking spots are part of the road.
Part of the road, correct.
So, and the sidewalk is a part of the village and the responsibility of
Oh,
me,
yep.
right? So the problem is, obviously, when they plow, I shovel, then they plow, then I shovel, then they plow. It's the in-between time, which was yesterday, where there is no park, you can't park. I mean, obviously, everyone knows that there's 3 feet between the sidewalk and the parking spots of a little mound, and sometimes it gets really bad. Yesterday, the storm was pretty bad. There was pretty big mounds. And, you know, I watched some lady, her husband pulled up, they tried to get out. He ended up backing up a few times and ended up pulling out of the spot. She had to walk through the snow. I had one lady who wants to say off the record, whatever. We drove by, there was no parking on Main Street, so we went somewhere to eat that wasn't counted, or instead of counting. That hurts. Just to hear that hurts, because that sucks. That means it happened definitely more than once if I heard about the one person. So what are we supposed to do with that 3-foot mound of snow?
So, in the past.
No, this is an impossible answer.
It is.
But what are we supposed to do?
It is a possible answer, because in the past, the village has taken the burden on it, and the last time we've done it, it has cost us $10,000 to remove that snow. We have to call in an outside contractor.
When was the last time you had to remove snow? Do you remember?
3 years ago?
About 3 years ago. We really haven't. 2 years ago, John?
Last year we lucked out.
Yeah, last year we lucked out.
So 2 years ago was the day of the parade when you guys removed the snow in about an hour and a half, and it was amazing, and it took a village to clean the snow, and it was perfect. And all the snow was gone in no time.
The day of the parade was different.
But that was.
Normally what we do is we pull all the way from the library all the way up to Church Street to what was, our building right now up at on Church Street. And basically, yeah, last year we did do a great job, and thank you. But at the same point, there's different, sometimes there's much more snow, sometimes if there's back-to-back storms, we do come in at night and we have to spend tens of thousands of dollars to remove the snow.
Right,
And just to back up a second, and our highway department was out there doing the plowing. They were out there for 24 hours. I'm sure John had done more hours because he runs our water plant and he has to be in the morning and on Saturday. So, and I think I saw the guys out at 7:30, but they done a whole 24 hours. Then they came back the next morning to clean up at 4:30 on Monday. So
we used to come in on a storm like that and take from Johnny Brickhome's store, push everything in, because it was my father and I, push everything down to the bridge, and everything from the library, right on down to the bridge, Mill Street and Market Street, push everything over. And it used to get done in a fashion of time, but the cost is there.
it's the cost.
And now there's
Killing
more
it.
people, more traffic, and
So the cost is there.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's definitely some way to make the cost less somehow if we made it a more permanent thing. As if if it was something that was planned for and you didn't have to bring in, I don't know how the heck to make it cheaper.
Yeah.
There's got to be a way to.
We have
If it's something that's always done, then it can be a part of a budget. But even if it's expensive, you're trying to bring in, this whole village is trying to bring in new businesses.
Definitely, yeah.
And you're asking us to close for a day or 2 days. If it didn't rain today would be closed as well. And if it was colder, tomorrow would be just as bad. So you're telling me that I have to close for 4 days. Now, I'm not actually closed, but if no one can park, my business is minimum cut in half. What am I supposed to do? Tell my employees to go home? Tell my wife that we can't have this money? My money has to fluctuate even though I'm spending my taxpayer money, but then we can do other things that are, put cameras up in a park because some guy parked overnight, which we're not supposed to do, and his stuff was taken out of it. I
understand where you're coming from. It's what it is. It has been done in the past, and it's costly, and we have to notify the state so we can go out on the road, and they give us a time limit, and I want to say it's from midnight to 5 in the morning, and we have to get it done in that time period. All that work, and it's all up to the state was when we can do this.
So how about this though? The state's in charge of cleaning the roads.
They should be in charge of cleaning up them snowbanks.
Not the sidewalk though. So we get one dude with a John Deere and a plow and push everything into the parking spots, and they can't push it back. How come they can push it back? Why is that? Why?
Yeah, but most of your parking should be into the parking lot.
I don't understand how. I thought we had to be up here.
No, you do. I'm sorry.
I'm not, I mean, I'd love to have a conversation, but most of my parking has to be in the parking lot? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
That's where, when the quiet man was there, that's.
Okay, well, Twilight was 8 years ago, okay?
One conversation, one conversation.
I don't know who this gentleman is, but I'm trying to have a conversation up here. And progress, not whatever that is. If we did just push it all into the road, I mean, I just got a brand new snow blower because I bought a cheap one when I first moved up here from the city. I'll take my cheap one that still works and bring it in and take the snow and just fly it into the road.
Against the law.
That'd be against the law, yeah.
Okay, I won't do that then. I mean, I was kind of joking, but I wasn't really, like, what if I shovel it into the road? So then I can't do anything with the snow on the sidewalk, because I have to clean the sidewalk, but I can't.
I think,
So what am I supposed to do with the snow on the sidewalk? I have to clean off the sidewalk, but I can't. Because if I put it in the road, that's
Mayor, if I
illegal.
may?
Yes.
If I may, there seems to be a number of conflicting opinions, issues, concerns with regards to a large snow event. I would make the suggestion to this board that as this has now come to light, it's a serious issue, it's an issue that's affecting your business owners,
you
that
should reach out to the state senators. and-
that we, that.
Hey, guys, so,
Hey, Jay.
That we actually really take a look at this and try
Been an issue
to, and
since
try
the-
to,
Not county. I mean, we've been talking about this
It's
forever.
been an issue for years, and the village,
Yeah,
the village has
okay.
taken the burden on cleaning these sidewalks, and the taxpayers of this village, and they don't
And we
clean,
can't-
they don't clean my snowbanks in front of my house.
And we
Okay,
can't
And I live
push-
on West Main Street, and I gotta cut my snowbanks down when we get a big snowstorm.
And where do you put the snow?
I gotta throw it in my front yard.
Right, you have a front yard to throw it in.
But again.
I don't.
But again, the village is taking the burden on this, the taxpayers, right? Not only yourself, but,
Sure.
I mean, there's
I
6,000
just want you guys to
people
tell
in
me
this
where I'm
village.
supposed to put the snow.
And-
I legally, where am I supposed to put the snow? Legally, I get fined if I don't clear the snow off the sidewalk.
I can reach out to our
And
assemblyman.
legally, I get
senator,
fined
and
if
see
I put
they
it,
can help
or
us with this.
if I put it in the road. So I have nowhere to put the snow.
I will reach out to our assemblyman in the town, both sides. 'cause-
But I am asking this, a very simple question. Legally, I'm fined if I don't clean off the sidewalk.
Correct.
Legally, I'm fined if I put the snow in the road. So I break the law no matter what I do.
Well,
Go ahead. You want to go first?
yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. This was a large snow event. There's a lot of snow.
Not that big of a snow event.
Well, compared to the last 2 years, we haven't had that much snow. We've been lucky. We've had a lot worse. When you have small snow events, it can be piled on the edge of the sidewalk. When it's large, as it is now, we have to come up with a solution. I understand what you're saying, but we don't have an answer right now. We have to look at this and try and figure it out.
I mean, we could just, again, we can spend the money to do this every time there's a snow event. I'm going back 2-3 years, it was $10,000.
Every time, well, last year we wouldn't have spent a dime. The year before, we wouldn't have spent a dime. So there you go, you just saved $40,000. And then this year, we could have done it once.
We're still in the beginning of winter, you can.
So what if one person, I took a picture of this lady. What if that lady slipped and smashed her face on the sidewalk right in front of Pete's wagon wheel? What would Pete have done? Where would the burden have fallen?
Could I just?
No, I'm just asking if someone has an answer.
I don't know.
I think, again,
Was it the state's road that she fell on, or the side, like, where did she, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I apologize.
there are a number of concerning issues from both sides of the fence here. I think it would behoove this board to make the commitment to look into and address this issue as a priority issue, and we can start investigating it. There's a lot of issues, there's a lot of questions, there's a lot of situations, and a lot of what-ifs that could happen with all of this. So until you kind of take a really deep dive into looking into this and come up with a solution that's going to work, and that might mean talking with neighboring towns, it might mean looking at how other municipalities are doing it, it might mean contacting the state, it might mean a number of these things, but this is an issue, it's come to the board. I think
Well, it's come
instead
to
of
the board
doing a
with
knee-jerk
the
reaction.
right?
It has come to the board, and I think right now you're talking about two different things with the snow ordinance and the problem that you're having.
Talking about the
You have
snowbank,
I'm talking about the snow ordinance, because you can't, if you don't move the cars, then you can't plow the snow away. But now you're taking the snow
I understand.
from the snow ordinance with the plow. I don't know which one I'd rather have, the car sitting there That way, they can't plow it onto my sidewalk,
trying to say-
or the car's not sitting there, so then they do plow it onto. It's the same thing. It is. I get what you're saying, but it is the same
What I'm trying to
thing.
say to you, though, is we could have a snow ordinance or not have a snow ordinance, and you could still have the problem with the snow that's on your bank. So I think that that's an issue that we need to take a look at.
Right, I understand what you're saying. You are right. I came up during the snow
It's an
ordinance thing, but I
issue.
only came up at this time because I felt like this is
You
the
let me
time
know
where
when you're
I
done.
should probably talk, just because I feel like people were.
So tomorrow I will reach out to Senator Rob Rollison, and I will reach out to AJ from the town, and I will also reach out to Assemblywoman Dee Dee Barrett on the town of Poughkeepsie side, and see if they can get the state to come down and help this village on large snow events like this.
I was
What I was
agreeing with you, Jeff. I'm
What
sorry. I was
what
trying to
I'm
agree
trying
with
to
you.
say, if you just let me finish,
Sure.
is I think that if we look through the village, I totally understand what you're saying. And if we look through the village, I think there'll be isolated spots through the village that you're talking about where the snow can't go front and the snow can't go back. So I think that's something that we should get together and we should discuss, even if it involves something with our highway superintendent and moving. I think that we can discuss the snow ordinance separate from what your main issue is, because your main issue to me right now sounds dangerous to anybody that's walking that street. And it sounds like it doesn't matter whether we have a snow ordinance or not.
No, I came up to be
It-
pro snow ordinance. I wanted to make sure, that was the first thing I wanted to
But
make
that-
sure
your
was pro
specific issue that
snow
you're very-
ordinance.
That you're talking about and driving right now seems to be like something that we should talk about as a group and try to address above a snow ordinance. So that's
Right.
the point I was trying to make.
And you're right, and I didn't mean to put two things, I mean, I came up to say pro snow ordinance, and then we started talking about something else. I'm not up, I wasn't, I mean, you guys are the one guiding this conversation, and this guy back here. I'm just trying to say yes, first of all, yes, pro snow ordinance, and I think honestly, just moving it back to 1 or 2 would have been probably fine. Did you just call me an asshole?
All right, enough of that.
Jesus Christ, I'm done now,
I will reach out to the senator and assemblyman, Assemblywoman.
So I just wanted to clear up a little bit. I've had a lot of tenants contact me. And right now, Anthony and I, we built the building and the ones that we have, but we also manage like 40 other properties. So when I come up and say things about the snow ordinance, I think there absolutely should be a snow ordinance on days that it snows. But from December 1st to March 31st, there's a snow ordinance for all 4 months, even if there is no snow. And that's the issue that I have.
That's what we're looking
So
to lift.
that's what I'd like to, thank you. Okay, because and I didn't want you to think that I was against a snow ordinance, because I'm not. I want there to be.
No, I just wanted to put my opinion
But
out there.
when it snows. So if it's, I have tenants that, right now they have 1 parking spot, but they're 2 working people, so they have 2 cars. So now we're telling this other person that for 4 months out of the year, they can't park anywhere. And they can't park in the lots because they have a driveway. So they can't get one of the spots that are in the parking lot, and they can't go on the road, and they can't go on the residential, and I'm sure you've heard it a million times from a ton of people. But I just wanted to clear up.
busy day.
And yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure all of you have. But thank you.
Charlie?
Yeah, well, one thing that should really happen is when the developers come in and build these new buildings, that there's sufficient parking for the tenants in that building to park when it's snow. Now the village has to take this burden on, because you're building all these buildings, and they're not being required to provide sufficient spaces. So now it's our problem. And as far as clearing the snow, it's a good thing it rained, because people wouldn't be able to get into those businesses this whole week.
Agreed, yeah.
So it's something that needs to be budgeted. The system's already in place to solve this problem. Your highway department, super, you tell him you want it done, he budgets for it next year, and you spend the money to get it done. That's the only, nobody's gonna do it for free. I don't think the
No.
state's gonna come in and do it for free. It just gets
But they can
budgeted,
figure
and you
it out.
approve the budget. If you don't approve the budget, then you tell your businesses that we didn't approve doing it.
Yeah, the state has helped out a couple times through the year.
Hopefully they could do that, but if it didn't rain, this would be an ongoing problem.
Ongoing issue, correct. I would not disagreeing with you.
If I could speak to Charlie's comments for a second. That's precisely by the reason the new code we passed at the last meeting has increased parking in it, so that we don't run into these issues. So when developers do come in, build a building, now they're required more parking than they were previously, And secondly, they're also required to have, which is not new, as per the code, they're required to have location where to store that snow. Unfortunately, County Fair was built a long time before any of these codes were in place, so that was not built into their architecture. But so I just want to speak to those 2 points. That new code does address half of that anyway.
Hello. So me and my coworker, we work down at Revival on Main. So we wanted to address the 2-hour parking and the snow ordinance, but I think that was covered. So we've been having issues with getting tickets while we're working, and we work really long days, and our clients are usually at the salon for at least like 3.5 hours, and they're coming out for tickets, and then they're complaining to us and upset. So like a few years ago, before this whole it started getting enforced by the traffic officer that's now walking around, I had a client that had come in and she walked out to a ticket and never came back. Like she texted me like, I'm so pissed off, you told me that nobody's giving tickets. And like we let it go because then for a while it stopped. But now it's like every day. And we actually talked to the officer and he was like, I can't do anything about it.
All right. Trustee Ruffin, you want to? We've talked about this afternoon also, Trustee Ruffin and myself.
So there's a few things about the snow ordinance.
It's
and
a 2-hour parking.
The state road snow, but I was trying to get things said. All right, real quick, I agree with Kevin. The state is making us a hardship. It's going to cost the taxpayers a lot of money. All right, raise your hand who wants to pay taxes to remove snow that the state throws on our sidewalk. Okay, who wants to pay extra money for what the state does to our sidewalks? We did it for years, but why?
Why?
Well, because they're not gonna.
I don't know. I'd prefer to go to them and make a case again and ask them to do something.
Can we get back to the agenda?
Mike, we're on 2-hour parking.
Okay, and
2-hour parking.
so 2-hour parking legislative is talking about making it into a 4-hour parking law.
Oh, beautiful.
That would be good.
That'd be
So that's the other thing?
That would be good for like the businesses and stuff,
Right.
like our clients, customers. 'Cause
We're moving our clients' cars for them.
And sometimes we can't, we're double booked.
Start over then.
Legislative is also talking about making 24 hours of snow ordinance, so 24 hours, no parking on the road, at a minimum of a winter weather advisory. Okay, so if a winter weather advisory goes out, the police department has a Nixle system in place. Anybody who's signed up will get a text message alert, winter weather advisory, please move your car off the road. That can be transmitted in English and Spanish for non-English speakers, or hopefully maybe if you need another language, you could sign up for that too with Nixle. But the proposed snow ordinance would be 24 hours before minimum winter weather advisory event to 24 hours after the winter weather advisory event, okay?
Okay, but I do have
In a nutshell.
one more thing to say. So what about for like the employees and like the business owners and stuff, like is there like a pass we could get that we wouldn't have to worry about moving our cars? Because sometimes like you can't just leave, it sounds silly, but I can't just like leave my client processing in the middle of the salon and be like, I have to go move my car before I get a ticket. And because of like the snow, which I don't need to discuss that anymore, I'm okay with what was said. But like, my coworker got a ticket the other day, she was only in the salon for 3.5 hours and it like, you know.
There was nowhere to park.
It sucks, so
He
we
was
couldn't
saying
move, yeah, we
to
couldn't.
park. There's no parking.
Well, everything was filled, but regardless of the
Behind
snow.
your county fair, there's no parking back there.
And no
anyway, 'cause it was
parking
plowed.
behind us, like in the, you know, past like.
I think we
back
can
parking
look
lot
into that.
taxis.
Well, that's the thing though, so
But I'm not even talking about the snow, regardless, either way.
We can look into something.
Very, very hard for us to like move our cars and for clients, and we've had issues with parking.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people at Patsy's are like sometimes now blocking the road, and I know they've called the police on me before for parking in the not, like blocking the road, but I was parking in a spot, and then they had rented the lot, and then now they're parking in that lot, kind of blocking our way sometimes too, and I get it, there's no parking. But like, I feel like if we did that, I would get another voicemail from the, you know, police saying like, you can't park there, or like you'll get a ticket.
Yeah, I
So
think
it's like pick and choose, like who gets, you know, the cops coming to our job, who does it, who gets a ticket, who doesn't.
We'll have to I'll get the legislative committee on that and we'll look into that for
It
you.
would be good if we could get like some kind of passes, at least for like employees and like the business owners, because
All right.
it's really hard, but the 4-hour parking definitely would help.
All right,
Sorry.
we'll look into it. Dana?
sorry, yeah, so, As for the 4-hour parking, I think
That's great, that's the plan you guys are thinking, that solves pretty much everything. 2 hour works for me, because lunch people aren't really staying, after 5, no one cares, if they're there at 4, we're good all night. And then as the play is concerned, like, if they're not gonna start ticketing people that are there at 5, even though it's 7 o'clock, it's the play, they're coming to dinner here, they're going there, that's fine. The one thing I do wanna say to the girls and to any employee that parks on Main Street, you're crazy.
I don't park on Main Street, I'm just saying. I don't either.
Okay, but I think that whole thing started because people were parking on, I think it was certain business, the owners are parking on Main Street. Are you out of your mind? We sit here and complain about parking. Every single employee or every single business owner loses their mind about parking. And then I pull up and I'm like, oh shit, county's full, look at all these cars. And it's empty and it's just employees of businesses.
You're robbing yourself.
So the passes thing, but not on Main Street.
Yes,
Don't-
I agree with
But they
that.
cannot be from Main Street, please. But are they ticketing for behind me for 2 hours? I mean, I know he's ticketing for everything else, but
I think
I already talked to the commissioner about,
I think our parking lots are 4-hour parking and
Okay.
ticketing in the 4-hour parking.
okay. And girls, up by us, like behind, between the law office and Vietnamese, there's always so many spots back there.
I didn't know if we were allowed to park there.
My employees have never parked anywhere but there. You can
park there, there's lights everywhere, I have a camera facing back there, so my employees are safe. I put these huge
Any more
spotlights
comments?
back there.
I just want to say that
Mr. Survac?
ironically, it was a business owner that
Mr.
started
Survac,
again.
please come up.
Somebody went on vacation and left their car in front of the business for 2 weeks. So that was a complaint that they literally just left their car for 2 weeks in front of their.
No, I've seen it. I've seen it, and I mentioned something to the police commissioner.
I'm Joe Surback, I live on 20 Fulton Street, I'm here from my mother, West Academy Street. The other day, I was going up, about a plow, cars are parked directly across from one another. Could not get through, could not. Even if there's no snow, it's tight getting through the cars. So she had to call the cops the other day to find out whose car is what, move something, because the cars were backing up and trying to.
I think
Out of the way.
that road there should be one-side parking only. I talked to Trustee Ruffin about that, and I talked to your brother about something else in front of his house too. So we.
That group kind of moved out, but we didn't know it was going to come in.
Yeah. So we.
Didn't we do a test on that road a few years back with the fire truck and everything coming through? And
I don't recall. Maybe
try to make
Station
it
One did.
one-side parking?
I don't recall.
But, I mean, I'm just saying. you had
Oh,
to
I
back
did.
out,
Yep.
You couldn't get through. You can have it. It's the same thing with Main Street. I mean, you can only get the
Go
snow so far
yeah.
back.
Correct.
And it was a big storm. I understand all that. But it was, like I said, cars are backing up trying to turn around, and even in the summertime, it's tight.
Yeah.
Like I said.
We could try to make that like
I mean, once in
one-side
a while, I
parking.
come down there with my work truck, not the trailer, the other one, sometimes the trailer. If a fire truck or school bus had to get through it, it's tight.
It's tight. Yep.
Real
Definitely. I've seen it, and I know my Trustee Ruffin has.
Yep.
So.
Prospect.
So that's just what I'm bringing up about.
All right.
West Main. I mean, I'm sure there's other streets in the village that are the same way.
There's lots. Yep.
The other day, it was.
There was lots.
rough down there.
Mizir.
Yeah. I'm just, it was just pretty rough down there the other day.
Yep. All right. Thanks.
All right,
Moving along.
I was approached by the Presbyterian Church, as you may know, is for sale. That's the church right down here by the parking lot. And they would like a letter from the attorney. Okay. Can I have a motion to move the Presbyterian Church issue to the executive session?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Motion to approve Festival of the Arts, May 18, 24, and May 17, 25. I'm in receipt of a letter from Wappinger Central School District addressed to Board of Trustees. I respectfully request permission to reserve Mizir Park to be used as the site of Wappinger Central School District's 74th Annual Festival of the Arts on Saturday, May 18th, 2024. We would like to have executive use of the park from 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. with a rain date of Sunday, May 19th, 24. For future planning, please consider a request to tentatively reserve the entire park for the 75th Festival, May 17th, 2025 as well. I checked with Parks Commissioner Charlie Ferry. He's fine with it. Can I have a motion to allow that?
I'll make that motion.
There a second?
I'll second.
Mike, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I am in receipt of correspondence from William T. Garner at their company meeting held on Monday, January 8, 2024. Jason Ensign was elected by the members as the company custodian. Can I have a motion to accept the correspondence?
I'll make that motion.
Who was that?
Mike, is there a second? Second it. James? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
We were gonna discuss, general code estimate for the zoning code.
Hey, we skipped a section.
The general code issue has been resolved, I was told this afternoon.
Yeah, it's just,
Okay.
So tomorrow, I'm gonna tell them to go ahead and do it.
what are you gonna do?
That's local law 3 for the year. It had to do with adopting a whole new zoning code. 272 pages of zoning code, which means chapter 151 was taken out completely and will be replaced by the new one.
Is that the one Adam was complaining about?
The cost of that, just that, for general code alone, is over $10,000. Now, last on the printed part of the agenda, as you all know, or may not know, I am the Dutchess County Chairman of the Stormwater Management Consortium, and I have been for 7 years. But I've also been involved with it since 2003, when the notice of intent for the stormwater permit was first introduced, and I've been with it ever since. Recently, the new permit came out with 172 pages of changes. There's no way I can possibly be your MS4 coordinator and implement this. When the NOI, notice of intent, that I was involved with, Jim Haran was our attorney, and Inside Engineering, they were our engineers. I'm going to have to get another team together, possibly our village attorney. And I asked Todd Atkinson from Foschetti and Associates to prepare a notice of intent that needs to be filed with the state DEC by February 17th. He said he would get back with me by Friday on what the cost would be for his preparation of that NOI. We don't want to miss our February 17th date. Not good.
Nope.
So I'm going to bird dog that through. As we go along and we do learning on what this is really going to entail over the next probably 6 months, that'll determine what action this board's going to need to take with respect to hiring a consultant to help us with it. And I'll be there every inch of the way. Okay?
John, thank you.
I just wanted to update you on that. If anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to me at any time. I've been with this since the start, and I'll be glad to offer anything I can to the town as well. Okay. That concludes the printed portion of tonight's agenda. Mayor, did you want to open it up to anything else?
Do you wanna put that in executive, Mike?
Yeah, I will.
Do you have to do it now?
Oh, we got you.
We can discuss that in executive. and then-
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. We just got news. We have some clarification on that hire.
Dispatcher, full-time.
Resolution number 0424-2024, hiring of a full-time police dispatcher. Update your resolutions, board. First line where it says hire part-time to hire full-time police dispatcher Zachary Canning, position from police assistant part-time to the title of police dispatcher full-time.
Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a
The
second?
motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I abstain.
Carried.
Who abstained?
Jennifer. All right. Does the board have anything they'd like to discuss? Before I open to the public again?
Yep.
Anybody from the public?
Are you gonna ask the departments, water, fire, like you always?
At the end of the month, we
End
will.
of the month, we're doing that.
We moved it.
That's changed?
Yeah.
This way, if they have anything that they want or want to get, we can discuss it and bring it to the next
That's gonna
board
be
meeting.
part of the workshop, so if things are brought up at those
Okay.
committee meetings,
So I
and
should wait till the workshop?
then it can be up for
What I would like to
discussion.
bring up.
Yep.
Okay.
Can I have,
I'm not coming up.
okay, so you want to move along?
Yeah.
Okay.
Move along.
Got
No, do we,
Dana?
Yeah, I got this. Okay. Sat in the wrong spot. Two things.
When you guys are thinking about doing the 4 hours, that's going to include the spots that are the 1 hours, right? That somehow got added to 1 hour.
What we're looking to do, talking with trustee Ruffin,
Yeah, it's 1 hour spot.
the village has a bunch of 1 hours, a bunch of 2 hours, a bunch of 4 hours. Talking with trustee Ruffin this afternoon, we're looking to possibly go all 4-hour parking throughout the village.
Sweet.
And that'd be,
A very simple way to address the parking is to get rid of all this piecemeal stuff that was done. And Attorney Linders and I are
Yes, we do that
grinding
for you.
through
Yes,
the
we do
whole
that for you. Yes,
vehicle
we
and
do that for you,
traffic.
and then-
yeah. We have a couple spots that
That
we,
was a lot of work, guys.
It's
Promise.
awful.
I get it.
we,
Oh, I get it.
we have a
He
couple
told me all
spots on
about it.
Mill Street that need like 15-minute parking because it takes up from businesses.
Yeah, which I think is great, and I even told Pete, I'm like, I think you should have a 15-minute spot here, if you were busier. Anyway, and the other thing, is there any way we could brainstorm for a little bit about, instead of waiting a whole month, to talk about what we can do with the snow in the meantime, just in case we have a couple, because it's a lot of money that you lose. I mean, it's, especially with new places, I mean, we're talking, if it didn't rain, I'm saying minimum, if it was cold, minimum $5,000 out of my pocket. And that's not chump change. And I don't have a ton of ideas, but maybe just a conversation, or is it something that has to be done in a month?
Well, it's something that it can be done. We'd have to line up with our highway super.
Oh, no, I have no idea, but I'm saying, can we all brainstorm? Like,
You
I
can
want to
all
be a part of the
brainstorm. Yeah, you can all-
brainstorm. With you guys, that was what I mean.
So for the next posted legislative committee meeting, if you'd like to be present,
In a
then
month, right?
we'll grab names tonight, and anybody who would like to be present, please call into the village clerk.
That one in a
clerk.
month is what I mean, though?
Yeah,
That's what I mean, that month is a
it
little.
won't be more than a month, no. So we'll put that together tonight, we'll properly post it, and you'll be invited to attend on that.
Do we have,
You
Speak
can also
one-on-one
submit,
here.
you can also submit written suggestions to the legislative committee as well in the meantime, so that we can analyze that going forward.
Yeah, I mean, sure, that doesn't, I wanted to think of something like if it snows this weekend. We do, like, just something that we could all talk about, and with Tim here, you know, he knows what type of equipment is out there. Because for me, the main businesses that are affected by this are just a couple on East and West.
So
And-
how the highway department works is, if they bring them in at midnight, and correct me if I'm wrong, John,
Yeah, that's why.
is that they're gonna work from midnight, and they have to have the state road cleared off by 5 AM. That's, the state will tell you that. They will give you permission to clear that snow, but it has to be cleared off by 5 AM, no later. And then these guys are gonna have to go start work at 7 AM. So they gotta line it up to where they can do it. So they most likely like doing it on weekends, where they come in like a Friday night or a Saturday night or a Sunday night, whatever the case may be. They've done pretty much all three of those at one point in time. So most of the time, like if this snowstorm was Sunday, you'd probably end up mostly waiting the weekend before they would go do it again.
So I will say, and maybe you're not included, I know that working a 24-hour shift, that's gotta be terrible. I grew up with my dad who plowed, we would go out and we were out 24 hours, no problem. We were out 36 hours. Yes, it sucked, it was absolute hell. But I owned the bar. I know they come in bitching about how tired they are, and then so happy the next week when they got that paycheck with all that overtime.
Oh, correct, yeah.
So there's the give and take. They hate the hours while they're doing them, and they love the money in the end. So we can focus on both things. We don't have to just say they work 36 hours in a row, and that's not fair to them.
Yeah.
Sure, if they really hate it, but if they don't actually hate it, let's give them a real opinion on it. Let's see. You're probably exhausted. I'm sure it's a long ass day when you're doing for 36 hours, but a 36-hour day, when it's like double time or whatever it is, that's the chunk that a lot of people would, I would do it. I'm in, let me go. I mean, just a thought. I don't know. Okay. I go on.
All right, Alice,
Sorry, I don't think we're 36 hours, but just put my opinion out there, man.
Maybe Royal Garden has done that garbage control, and you just shovel the snow.
Nah.
He's walking around talking to teeth all day.
Well, yeah, it's a place to put it.
Make a big giant snowman out of all that snow.
Well, what's the money put on?
What's that?
The school bus money that we were getting, where is that going? Couldn't you put that into a snow budget and stretch from 12?
I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could.
That can't be done now?
No.
rec fees.
I believe some of that paid for
Move a
camera.
lot of money
Yeah.
around, so this is giving money to us, right? From the school buses.
Yeah.
Can't that?
Which is being questioned right now, so I can't say anything else
Oh,
more
we
about
know.
that, so,
We
so
heard.
we can't spend that money.
No. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, hang on. Charlie?
I know it might be an unpopular topic, but the New York Controller's Office recently did an audit of the village and came out with that audit. It had a long anticipated wait, and a lot of work on it. And as you recall, the audit is about the village's, the village board oversight of the fiscal responsibilities of the board, of the village. And it was very critical of the village board and of the oversight of our tax dollars and of finances. And it hasn't been mentioned at a board meeting or any plans on how that's going to get improved in the future. I think it's something that really needs to be publicly discussed.
So we're working on that. I'm working on that with the finance committee to get the process going, where we delegate people with the monies. 'Cause we have to do a lot of delegation. Jen, you want to speak?
So, we have received the audit has been made public and it's been published. So, there were certain procedures that were not being done, whether it's, the delegations of money, the separate, hands that it has to go through. So what we've done is, with our treasurer, we have come up with a schedule where we have added 2 hires to the upstairs so that we have delegations of duties, and the monies will be going through the proper channels instead of just one person. It's not, and just so everybody knows, it's not that money was disappearing or being, it's just how it was funded into the banks. Checks and balances. So that's what the big concern with the audit was the checks and balances.
But why hadn't that happened for all those years? Like, why now that we have the audit are we doing that? Why wasn't that done all those years?
I would probably say that it wasn't, we didn't have the knowledge that it needed to be done that specific way. So we do have.
We need to have the knowledge, and I don't
We
think
have-
keeping the same people in charge
Well, let
of
me-
finance committees and
Let
of
me-
treasurers.
We have a new treasurer.
Yeah, but the treasurer doesn't meet the qualifications that you posted for that job. I think you should repost that with the current salary so you get people who are
Are you
interested.
talking about the treasurer?
Yes, I'm talking about the treasurer. Does not have from what I can see, doesn't have a financial degree. He's not an accountant, a finance
I
person.
believe she does, but we're not going to talk, we're not going to talk about that. That's a personnel issue.
I-
But we have added 2 new employees upstairs to make that flow the correct flow, and they're working very hard.
I think there should be more plan than just hiring 2 employees, because
So
you read that report, it's pretty critical of what went on with this board,
We
and it
have
should not have happened.
we have read the report, and you're talking about.
And you haven't brought it before the village, though. If I wouldn't have brought it up, it's silence for the village.
It's not silence,
If you-
because it was
well,
posted.
Yeah, it's posted on the New York Attorney, the New York
It's
Controller's
not posted
website.
on our website?
No.
No, it's not. It's nowhere. Nobody in the village has been told about it.
Okay, we'll make sure.
We know about the snow park, and we know about snow ordinances, but we don't know that money's been,
Send it to me, I'll post about it, people will know.
Charlie, if you have any questions as to the runnings of the upstairs, like you were told on the phone the other day, you're more than welcome to come up the stairs and talk to Lori, see the books
But
that
this
you
is-
wanted
this
to
is-
see.
Yeah, the books that,
We have
what I
taken,
wanted to see was a document that doesn't exist anymore because of the lack of people watching the money.
but the people that were here then aren't here now.
It was the people that are here, that it had this audit was up to 2021.
The
This
audit-
wasn't something from many years ago, it was 20 to 21.
It was taken from the 2016 to 2021. And I don't think most of the people that are sitting on this board were on the board at the time, okay? So we have, the auditors came in,
Most of the people weren't.
the auditors came in, they
Oh.
gave us their opinions, we have their opinions, and we're reacting to it. There's
Well, that's what I know,
prior-
but that audit wasn't just privately for the village board. That audit was for the village, and we want to know what those plans are.
Yes.
We want to know what those
Posted on
plans
the
are.
village website. That should be posted on the village website.
And we
You are
had to
correct on
give
that.
a written response, so that written response.
saw the
was
written
public-
response.
Well, that's what we had to do.
Because it
and
was
that's
on
what we
the New York Controller's website.
did. So we,
But it wasn't very much
they did their audit.
a response.
We had to give our written response. They approved our written response, and now we're reacting to that written response.
But we want to know how you, I want to know how you react. I don't know if anybody else does, but I want to know what the village is doing, given the fact that some things haven't changed. But given the fact, quite frankly, that the finance committee is the same people who got us into this mess.
That's not true.
It is true in some state, in some people on the finance committee is.
Well,
Being, I think, believe the chair of the finance committee.
well, if you're referring to me, I was not on the board from 2017 to 2020, okay? So certain things happened between that time that are in that audit. I was not on the board, but thank you for bringing that up. I was off the board at the time, okay? If there's anything that you would like to know, just like I called you the other day.
It shouldn't just be
any
me.
questions-
It should be the whole village should
It's
know.
been
It shouldn't have to call you up and ask these questions. Jen, where has it been posted? Where?
Like you just said, it was posted on New York State.
And that's what you, that's where you want the people of the village to get their information about their
They
money.
can call us at any time, Charlie. Just like
Individually,
you
each
call.
person in the village has to call you.
If
That's
anybody
what,
has a question, they can call us at any time, and I will.
there
check
should be a
tomorrow.
presentation about what that
I will
audit was
check and talk
about.
to the clerk tomorrow and make sure that it's on the village website.
Mayor, it's just my feeling that the board should let the village know what this audit was, what happened, and what the village is doing to rectify it immediately. No, not to tell us immediately rectify it, not have meetings and hiring people that, all that is spending more money. How are you saving money?
Yeah, agreed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Agreed.
Anybody else?
Can I still vote on flamethrower for the snow problem?
It's your gas, your flamethrower, you can do whatever you like.
Don't, careful, I absolutely will. I can melt the snow that way, I'll do it.
Anybody
Is
else?
that a solution?
They're gonna vote on it.
Anyone else?
Is there anybody else?
Yeah,
All right, can I have a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
You second it?
Yes.